Before John Hagee was known for his vile hatred of the non-Zionist, his slanders to promote war and persecution, even against other churches. He was known for kids in the occult, and I'm sure other activities related to the Satanic Panic. So he is the presenter of this video of Paul W. Carlin. And this video is like clips from movies thrown in, bits of cartoon presented like it's a real, picture of some sort of priest. And you wonder, is it fantasy or power play? How much of this stuff is actually theory that these people have? And are the movies real rituals? I don't know if there's anything actually shown as examples other than clips from movies. They do have some people in prison and some other people that are real people and real things that happened. And why are things that would better support the alleged theories left out of this? And they include some of this stuff, right? And I don't think praying over snuff films makes it a righteous endeavor. And you wonder, because of the sort of film it is, did they hurt animals and stuff just so you could, include it in the movie or documentary, whatever you want to call it? And I'm not familiar with Faces of Death, so I don't have any idea what is included, but that's what people mention. They mentioned lists of movies and stuff that this stuff was from. At what point does a belief system of conflict cross into slander? And you definitely see a lot of slander going on about Aleister Crowley, about, Anton Susanner LaVey and Michael Aquino. You see slander in regards of certain music groups and other churches, definitely. Without crime and perversion, how might we cross over into gnosis and relief? Much became occult because of persecution of different types. Wouldn't the real God be for this world and age? Lying about Aleister Crowley and their extremist, dualistic interpretations of symbols probably made many find out the truth and even join some of the groups mentioned. When they make art, thought exercises, and sensual fun out to be evil, how can it not provoke people into Satanism? Christianity can be used as a cover, and people will just switch sides and forms as the same people. Satanism far predates these corporate forms with names to bounce off newer types of faiths, like Christianity and Judaism. Yeah, just because, it's the first incorporated Church of Satan doesn't mean that there was not a lot of stuff going on before. And the snake symbol, not the Baphomet, but the snake symbol definitely was a symbol before that. People act like, oh, well, Eliphas Levi drew the Baphomet, and that's like the chief symbol of Satanism. It's like, no, no. And that actually goes back further than Christianity, too. Not in that particular form, but, There are mixed faiths, but that doesn't mean they share any particular belief or practice of the parts or influences without it being a known part. Yeah, you can't infer beliefs and practices of one based on there being an influence or a mix in either direction. These alleged documentaries seem to differ as to what type of Satanists are most dangerous. What groups are actually types of Satanists, going so far as to act like other churches or demonic cults, and claims of evidence for crime. The National Socialist German Worker Party branched off the German Christian movement. They may not have required Christianity, but that doesn't make Hitler or any of the others people who made satanic pacts. Political and music group related graffiti is also not satanic. And there were some scenes portrayed like could have been just homeless people preparing food. And yeah, some of them might have cooked some stray animal to eat. My ancestors used to eat dogs, because like Western Europeans, all my ancestors, as far as I know from the past few thousand years or so, based on genetics, they're all Teutonic. I mean, completely my ancestry is that. And dogs were eaten amongst those people. So the idea that nowadays some people eat dog if they're homeless, again, if that's what happened, I can't help but think people got their ideas of what to do from these videos. And also, a lot of the people, they didn't get what they got from satanic teaching. They got what they got from, the Christians act like this is what you have to do if you're not going to be a Christian. So people felt like they're going to do it. Some of the things I've been direct messaged back when I had Facebook was just, or Instagram or something. It's like, you don't have to kill your family. You don't have to do all this other stuff. But it's like, yeah, that's what they told you in church you had to do. Florida later passed the first laws against selling human meat for consumption. And there were plans in Idaho and Utah to outlaw even lab-grown human meat. Oh, and that's one of the things that turned out to be from a particular movie is there was a clip from a movie of people eating a human body. But then again, there were cultures that cannibalized the dead. So, and again, they didn't do it for Satan. Well, I'm sure some did in one word for Satan or another, right? Why can't people develop their consciousness and spiritual connections as part of any spiritual side? Because as I said before, they're acting like, oh, art and philosophy and good music. That's got to be the devil, right? Spying on family and using the police to bother family and even terrorize them over what is unusual or just not of one's religion isn't what people with the moral high ground do. And it lacks in ethics too. People come up with stories, and that doesn't make it a plan or account of what happened. Imagine all the teenagers that were locked up because of the stories that they were working on in their notebooks, or, oh, he wrote a poem, and oh, that's a dark poem. How could he write that poem, or she, or whatever? And some of the claims in this thing too, like what a million people joined this one cult. Yet there's, the only people who say that quote this documentary. There's no statistics that you can look up back then of any satanic group being that big. Aleister Crowley probably had that level of influence. I would say several million today have influence of Aleister Crowley as something more than just a scholar. Maybe to a degree, eclectic example that people can look to. I don't know if you could say that many people are Thelemites, perhaps in some form or another, but the number of people that joined his organization, I don't think the number has ever been over 7,000 for any of the organizations he later came to lead. And the Golden Dawn, really? The Golden Dawn was that's why Crowley kind of branched off, is because it was too Christian. It was Christian mysticism, the Golden Dawn was. It wasn't a satanic cult. The Ordo Templi Orientis, he became leader of that. It was a branch off of a Freemasonry. So basically, everybody who was a member, anyways, would have been Christian, at least at some point. Crowley would have left it a little more tolerant to non Christians being part of the group. And yeah, I know not all Freemasons for basically their whole existence have been Christian, but in Germany, there was a good chance that the OTO appeared as an all Christian group to start.